Alright guys, so today is going to be my first video of my new content creation style of taking requests from people about what type of video I should make. So this guy, Caped Cluckless, requested watch my Beach Buggy Racing 2 character tier list, which is one of my highest viewed videos, and was giving me his opinion about some of the ratings that he disagreed with. So I told him that he made some valid points, and I told him I would make an updated tier list if he wanted to, and he said yes, that would be great if I had time. So I'm going to be making an updated Beach Buggy Racing 2 character tier list today. So hope you like this one, Cape Clockless. I'll try to listen to your opinions. Okay, so if you didn't know, Beach Buggy Racing 2 is kind of like Mario Kart, but it's kind of like Mario Kart, but like more fun. It's like more crazy than Mario Kart. It's like there's more like overpowered power-ups, and the game is just, I think it's more fun. I played this game a lot throughout my childhood, and they had a second game. These are the characters from the second game. I played the first one a lot when I was younger. So the thing that's different between Mario Kart and Beach Buggy Racing 2 is in Beach Buggy Racing 2, there's like power-ups and stuff, but you also pick your driver, and each of the drivers have their own unique abilities, and some of them are better and some of them are worse. So I'm going to show you who you should pick if you ever play this game. So the starting driver we have is Rez. So basically what Rez does is his super power or whatever gives him a speed boost, and he leaves a trail of fire wherever he drives. But the thing is that the fire doesn't last for that long, and all the fire does is if you drive through the fire, then it sets your car on fire and slows you down slightly, like probably slows you down by like 30% for like 5 seconds. So he's okay, but like honestly, there's way better options. There's more characters that give you speed boosts, and you honestly probably shouldn't pick Rez. Like I don't even know C or D tier. Like to be honest, there's like literally just better versions of Rez. I think I'm gonna put him in D tier because honestly, there's just better versions. There's just a better character right here, Leilani. So Leilani's basically like Rez. She's also a starting character, but she's just a better version of Rez, I would say, because her speed boost is more powerful and it lasts for longer. The only difference between them is that Leilani leaves a trail of flowers behind her instead of a trail of fire. So, but the flowers are not as strong as the fire. Like the flowers, it's just if you drive through them, it just slows you down for a second while you're in the flowers. But that doesn't. So it's kind of whatever. But she has a way better speed boost than Rez. So honestly, she's just a 1 tier above Rez. To be honest. Then we have Beach Bro. So Beach Bro, he just shoots basically his super is he just shoots beach balls in all directions that just bounce you up into the air. They're honestly it's not that useful. It's really good on some maps because like the Hot Wheels maps, because on the Hot Wheels maps you can fly out of the track really easily. So if you use the beach balls on like a sharp corner turn on one of the Hot Wheels maps, then people will just fly off the map. And that really slows them down. But on a lot of maps, they won't really do anything. So Beach Bro is very map specific. But like his super could be like an S tier because like you can use on the Hot Wheels map and it flings like 5 people off the map, or you could just use it on like a random map like the boat map, like the Tiki map or something, and it won't do anything. So I'm just gonna put him. I don't know. Is he better than Leilani? Like I think he's C tier because he's just super map dependent. But I think he's probably better than Leilani. Then we have Beatbot. He's basically kind of like, according to Clapped Cluckles in his comments, Beatbot, I shouldn't have put Beatbot below Beach Bro because Beatbot is stronger. Besides, here's what it does. So Beatbot's super, when you activate it, does like this massive shockwave force field thing around you that keeps like pulsing, and while it pulses, everybody in this big area around you gets like pushed by it, and if someone's right next to you, it'll slow them down so heavily. Like it can start like pulsing and hitting them up into the air, and it slows them down a lot. So for that, I'm going to give him B tier. But the thing is, people have to be close to you for it to actually do anything. So if there's not anyone near you, then it's not very good. Benny. So I've never really liked Benny that much because his super just is like a power up, like a quick power up, where it just shoots a bunch of carrots that if you hit people, it just like it's like a Gatling gun of like exploding carrots. Where if you hit somebody with a carrot, it just knocks them out of their car and they have to like respawn or whatever. And it's pretty good. You can also Benny's like the only person that can like it basically super's like a free power up. Like you can shoot it behind you also. So he's pretty good. Like if they're like he's pretty good, but it's just basically like the rocket power up. So like it's okay, but like I don't know. Does he C tier? Like, I don't really know. I don't use Benny that much because I just like there's better drivers. I think I'm gonna I don't know because his super can be good. Like because if there's a lot of people around you, you can hit a lot of them and just knock all of them out of their cars. I'll give him B tier because in Beach Buggy Racing 1 you can't shoot power-ups behind you, but in Beach Buggy Racing 2 you can, so he can actually control. I think I'll put him lower than Beepot though. All right, we have Bazorp. He's going in S tier. This is who I basically pick 90% of the time. The reason he's literally the best driver in the game, I would say. Like, he's #1 driver in the game, in my opinion. He is so good because his super in Beach Buggy Racing 1 it was pretty terrible, but they reworked it in Beach Buggy Racing 2 and made it much stronger. What they did is what his super did in Beach Buggy Racing, the original game, you would activate it, and if there was someone in your field of view in front of you, if there was someone like in your field of view and they were in front of you, driving in front of you, it would lock onto them and then it would switch you in their place, so you would get put ahead of them and they would get put behind you. So it was only really good like at the end of the race. So like if the person was right in front of you and you weren't second, it wasn't that good. But what they did in Beach Buggy Racing 2 is it will still lock onto people if you see someone that's pretty far in front of you, but if there's no one to lock onto, it'll basically just be like a warp speed power up where it will just teleport you forward in the track without swapping anyone if it can't lock onto someone. So that's the reason it's so good, and the reason it's so good is because at the end of the race you can just teleport like past the finish line when you're behind. So he's just really good, and he's definitely an S tier character. Right now we have Clutch. Clutch is another S tier. He's probably the only other S tier character in the game, to be honest. He is basically like Beach Bro, but like 10 times better. So what he does is his super's exactly like Beach Bro's. Besides, instead of shooting like the beach balls that bounce you, he just shoots a bunch of bombs that explode. And how the bombs work is if the enemy runs into them, they just get knocked out of their car and they have to like respawn. Because the way it works in Beach Buggy Racing 2 is when you get hit by like a fatal power up, your character goes flying out of the car and then like it resets you and the car like has to like blink and you lose all of your speed. You have to accelerate to get back to max speed. So Clutch, if you run into one of his bombs, then you just instantly get flung out of your car. And then also, even if you can avoid his bombs, they explode after like 5 seconds. And if they explode while you're around them, then they do a huge amount of knockback and set you on fire. So his super is just super versatile. It's like you just lay it down and then it impacts the other drivers a lot. So he's really good. He's just like a way better version of Beach. So this is why you never pick Beach, because you can just pick Clutch. All right, now we have Disco Jimmy. So there's a lot of characters that are similar to each other. These three characters right here are really similar to each other. They're really similar. So I'll start with Disco Jimmy. Disco Jimmy, he shoots a disco ball that goes across like the entire track. So like let's say these three characters are the farther like back you are in the track. So like if you're in last, the farther back behind you are, the better their super is. So it like basically all of them do this thing where like when you use your super, it shoots it and it goes across the entire track, and anybody that it like goes over then it negatively impacts them. So Disco Jimmy's, what his does is it will put so you use it flies across the whole map, and anybody that it goes over will get a disco ball over their head, and it messes up their controls. Not doesn't mess up their controls really, like makes their car start like doing a dance where like it'll start like swinging left and right, and it's really hard to control your car. And if you try to turn your car while you're doing it, it just makes it even worse. So basically when you can't really turn while you're being hit by Disco Jimmy, and that lasts for like 5 seconds. So basically you can't turn your car for 5 seconds, which is pretty good. So I don't really know like where I should put him, because his super is really annoying, but like I don't know if he's A tier or B tier. I'm thinking he's A tier. He's either like top of B tier or like bottom of A tier. Like I'm really trying to think here. Like I don't This is really a hard decision because his super. Also, the problem is with these characters is that it's just basically the lower skill level you have, the better their super is. Because if you're in first place, then their super literally does nothing. So I'm gonna put him top of V tier because like it's just the reason is I never really pick these characters because it's just their super's only good if you're far back. All right, now we have Ugu. So Ugu was my favorite character in Beach Buggy Racing original game because you only play against bots, and when you hit them with Ugu's super, they just suck. So basically, what Ugu's super does is if it goes over people, it puts. Oh my God, sorry. It puts a bunch of tiki masks on their screen, which covering their screen, and it will block their vision so they can't really see as much. But the thing is that really good players at the game, it doesn't really mess them up at all. Like, I don't really get messed up by Ugoog that often. Like, I don't really get messed up unless there's like another power-up that someone uses on me that blocks my screen. But the thing is with Ugoog is if you hit a CPU with it, the bot just doesn't know what to do. The bot the bot can't see at all for some reason. The bot will just drive straight, and then if there's a turn, then the bot will just drive straight off the turn or into the wall. So he's really extremely overpowered when you're playing the game against CPU, but against players he's not very good. So I don't really know where to rank him because it just depends if you're playing against bots and bad. If he's really good against bots and bad players, but he's terrible against good players. For that, I'm gonna put him below Disco Jimmy. No, I'm gonna honestly put him in C. He's so good against CPU. If you're playing against good players, then he's F tier. If you're playing against bots, he's S tier. If you're playing against okay players, he's middle. I'm just gonna put him directly in the middle, bottom of B tier or top of C tier. I don't know. I think bottom of B tier, to be honest. Okay, Mika. Mika's is really straightforward. So it's like Disco Jimmy's and Ugoogs, where you shoot this pink monster. You shoot this pink monster across the entire map, and anybody the monster goes over, it shoots these little pink monsters onto their car that start munching on the car. And the more monsters that start munching on the car, the slower your car goes. So when you shoot it over someone, 5 monsters will get latched onto the car, and you'll go it'll give you a minus 80% speed. It'll give you minus 80% speed for 3 seconds, and the monsters will start going away. But it is probably I think she's the best out of the 3 because it's a really very strong slow speed. I don't know if she's closer to this. She's way better than Ugoog for sure. But she's really similar to Disco Jimmy, where her super just slow. It's kind of really similar where it just slows people down kind of a lot. And if you have a shield, also her super breaks through shields. So even if you have a triple shield, it'll just break through the shield and still latch monsters onto you. So that's good. Any of the force field things are kind of useless against her super. It just breaks them all down. So I think I'm gonna put her top of B tier above Disco Jimmy, and I think that's fair. Okay, El Zipo, and now we have El Zipo and Roxy Roller. These two are literally almost identical supers. They're literally almost identical. So El Zipo's super is I usually pick if I play Beach Buggy Racing 2, I pick El Zipo or Bazorp usually, and I usually like picking El Zipo over Roxy Roller, and here's why. So El Zipo, you activate super, you get a speed boost. It lasts for 10 seconds, and it lasts for 10 seconds, and the way it works is you go really fast, and if you hit somebody's car with your car, it launches them. It does a KO uppercut, and it launches their car up into there and makes them start spinning rapidly, and then once they land, then they're fine. But if you use it in a cave, then it makes them hit the top of the cave, and it makes them lose all their speed, and it's really annoying. And also you can launch people off the map with it. So and then Roxy Roller, what she does is hers is just exactly like El Zipo's. It gives you a speed boost, but if you run into somebody with her, it just instantly knocks them out of their car. But the thing is El Zipo's can actually be stronger than Roxy Rollers if you're in a cave, or you can on a Hot Wheels map where you can hit somebody off the map. So I like picking El Zipo more, but for both of them, I'm just gonna go in A tier. But I'm just gonna put El Zipo slightly above because I just like El Zipo more. But they're both really good, and I'm just gonna put I didn't do that. I'll put El Zipo above Roxy Roller, but they're basically the same character. It's just I prefer El Zipo. And I think El Zipo's speed boost might be a little bit stronger, but I don't know about that. Okay, now, McSkelly. Last time I put him in F tier and said he was garbage and didn't do anything. But, wait, what was his name? Caped Cluckles said that that's criminal, and I realize that it is because McSkelly, actually use McSkelly sometimes, and I also use him I used him in like the adventure map a lot. His super is literally just invincibility. Like you just go and like you like go ghostly, and then nothing can no power ups or anything can hit you, and also you can go through other cars. Like if you were gonna bump into other cars, you are invincible to all power-ups. You can drive through objects and other people's cars. You can't drive through like walls, but like if there's like a palm tree or something that you could run into and break, any breakable object on a track that you could run into, you can just go straight through it, and it doesn't slow you down. So actually, I realize that McSkelly is really good, and I'm definitely putting him in A tier because of I know he's good. I think I still would pick. He doesn't have a speed boost though, so I would still put him here. Oh yeah, also El Zipos. I realize what's better. El Zipos, I'm pretty sure when you run into breakable objects on the track, it just instantly breaks them and doesn't slow you down. I don't remember if Roxy Rollers does that. I think it might, but I don't remember if she does. So I don't remember about that, but I know El Zipos breaks objects. I don't remember if Roxy Rollers does. But McSkelly's definitely moving all the way up from F tier into A tier because he's just really good. Okay, the last character I pick. Every time I play, I pick Bazorb, El Zippo, or Mr. Happy. Mr. Happy is this guy. What his super does is you activate it. You can only unlock Mr. Happy if you go through the adventure mode and go onto this specific map in the ice area and then get a key and do like this extra side quest thing. And once you have him, he's actually really good. So what he does is you activate his super and it starts leaving it's kind of like junk in the trunk, but better. So junk in the trunk is basically a power-up where you start leaving breakable objects behind you, and then you leave like some other objects, power-ups, and like a exploding grill too. But Mr. Happy just leaves a bunch of pumpkins behind you, and I think it probably leaves like at least 15 or 20 to I think it leaves probably like 15 to 20 pumpkins on the ground behind you. And the pumpkins, it leaves like a pattern of pumpkins they each do. There's 3 different types of pumpkins, and it leaves them in like a pattern and they do different things. So the first pumpkin, the worst one, is just you run into it. It makes your tires really slippery, and also when you run into a pumpkin, it slows you down a lot. When you run into this pumpkin, it slows you down a lot. When you run into this slippery pumpkin, it slows you down because it's like a breakable object, so it slows you down kind of a lot. And it makes your tires extremely slippery, so it's really hard to turn. And you also usually when you run into that pumpkin, you'll just run into the other pumpkin in front of it. So it leaves like that one, and then it will leave this pumpkin where if you run into it, it puts a pumpkin on your head, and it blocks literally like your entire screen besides for 2 tiny eye holes and a little mouth, so you can barely see anything. So you usually end up running into another pumpkin, and then the last pumpkin is just an exploding pumpkin that instantly not kills you and knocks you out of your car when you run into it. So what happens is you usually end up, if you run into one of the pumpkins, you'll end up running into an exploding pumpkin and dying. So he is extremely good. The only problem is that if you leave your pumpkins down in lap 1 and lap 2, then the next lap they also you can end if you're in first. He's really good. The reason I like him is because he's the best when you're in first place. But the problem is that in the next lap, then you can hit your own pumpkins and they can mess you up. So the only reason I'm not putting him in S tier is because of that, because you can run into your own pumpkins if you don't use them on lap 3. So I'm gonna still put him in A tier, but I'm gonna put him like bottom of A tier under them because McSkelly like counters him and stuff. McSkelly does counter him completely, so I'm gonna put him top of H tier. Okay, and then we have the brand new character that was only released like a month ago. We have I think her name's Commander Nova. I tried her out. She's honestly kind of mid. She's pretty terrible. Like, I honestly think she's one of the worst drivers in the game. All her super does is put a rocket under your car that can launch you, that gives you like a pretty big speed boost. It's like it puts a rocket booster under your car that launches you into the air and then boosts you forward. And I thought that was cool because then you could skip parts of the track, but whenever you try to skip parts of the track, it just says out of bounds, then sets you back. So it's really annoying because you can't even use it for like skipping the track. There's only a few specific maps, like the Mushroom Grotto. She's really good on Mushroom Grotto because you can skip the big cave jump. But besides that, she's on, like, if you can't use her super in a cave because you'll hate yourself on the cave, and if you just use her super out in the open, it doesn't really do that much. It just launches you over. You can like launch yourself over Mr. Happy super, where like it gives you a slight boost. Like I'm gonna put her bottom of C tier. I think she's still better. I'm gonna put her like in between. I'm put her like I'm gonna put her like here, like top of C tier, because I don't think she's D tier because she is good on some maps and you can jump over some things. But that's basically it. So that's the tier list. I would recommend picking most of the characters in the S and A tier. I'd recommend definitely picking Bazorp. I would say my top three are Bazorp, Clutch, and El Zipo. Those are definitely my top three. And that's basically the tier list. It's done now. I hope Caped Cluckles will agree with me on this tier list, and that's basically it for this video. So make sure you guys like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below on what I should make a video about next, and I'll make sure to read your comment, and I'll probably make a video about it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.